Okay, I'm here with Andy Martin, who will be running for the GOP nomination for Senate here in New Hampshire. Here for Allen West. Very anxious to meet the Colonel, or have you met him before?
Well, I followed his career because my mother lived in his former congressional district. And I'm a great admirer of Colonel West. He's a real great American. And you know, he keeps us on our toes as a party, and I'm here to support him. I'm not here to promote my own candidacy tonight, but
well, I'll do that for you anyway. So
I will be running for the U.S. Senate nomination against Jeannie, where can we find her, Shaheen.
Jeannie Shaheen.
You know, I may have to invest in a bloodhound for this campaign because Jeannie always seems to disappear when public duties are calling. It's a very strange situation. I don't think she's a very good fit for the United States Senate. And I have the experience fighting Barack Obama and being a key opponent of his, which gives me a heads up in the primary.
Well, given what we've seen from the economy, given what we've seen from foreign policy, is there any appealing thing for Barack Obama or even Jeannie Shaheen in New Hampshire? I can't think of one.
Jeannie Shaheen has the media in her back pocket. They've always been very incredibly supple in their way of dealing with her problems. And that's a very valuable asset to have, the liberal media. As far as their qualifications, it's going to be a rough election for Obama because things aren't going well either economically or overseas, and his policy of appeasing Islam blowing up in his face literally in Egypt and Syria. Afghanistan, I'm sorry to say, is a disaster. We're backing a bunch of crooks there, and we're spilling American blood so that Karzai and his thugs can steal American green. But nevertheless, he shouldn't have been reelected in 2012, and he made it. So the Democratic Party's very well-oiled smear machine will be going strong. Shaheen is a very aggressive, mean-spirited campaigner, and she'll be a formidable opponent. And that's what I bring to the table, a reputation for being a very formidable fighter in the public arena.
What would an Andy Martin voting record in the Senate look like?
Probably pretty close to Kelly Ayotte, maybe a little more conservative. And it would depend on the issues. And essentially, my focus is the economy. We have kids coming out of college here in New Hampshire. They can't find jobs. They're leaving New Hampshire to look for work on the East Coast and the West Coast. We have people that are older, in their 50s and 60s, that have not been able to find work because of the slow recovery from the recession. I would have a very cautious and conservative foreign policy. I would not be encouraging nation building, war making. We can have a selective involvement where it suits our own national interest, but I'm against the United States being the world policeman. And finally, I have a long, long record of support for civil liberties and the Constitution. And quite unexpectedly, thanks to a fellow who's not that popular, Mr. Snowden, the issue of civil liberties has moved to the front of the line here, because everywhere you go, people are talking about the NSA spying and what is Obama doing. Now, George Bush started the spying, but Obama expanded it, and he's far exceeded what Bush did. People are worried about that, and there's a lot of concern that he's collecting information through NSA and then bicycling it over to his political operation to put into their computers. So I think support for the Constitution, a constitutional conservative, a very genuinely conservative foreign policy, and finally a real focus on the economy. We can't rest until kids coming out of college or out of high school can find a decent job.
My oldest is having that same problem out of college, magna cum laude notwithstanding. If people want to find out more about your candidacy, where can they go online?
Andy Martin 2014. I'm a writer. I've written a book on Obama, Obama the Man Behind the Mask, and I have a blog where I'm a columnist, contrariancommentary.wordpress.com, and our regular website will be up shortly, contrariancommentary.com. So there's a lot of areas where you can find information about me, and I have a reputation as a tough infighter, as a guy who stood up to Obama when the Republican Party wanted to lie down around and play dead. And that's the kind of candidate we need, somebody who really speaks for New Hampshire values and isn't just parroting what they say in Texas or Idaho. That old crib sheet of the right wing is not going to elect a U.S. Senator in New Hampshire. And my family's been here for 100 years. We have the kind of values that I think we are thankful to New Hampshire for what it's done for us, but we also have the kind of values that say, mind to your own business, as we would say, and be sure that the bills are paid and get people to work. This is the most important thing. Young people need to have a job. To say they're going to be tending bar for 2 or 3 years, and I'm not criticizing bartending, but come out of college with a degree and you're delivering packages, that's not what you're trained for. We're a high-tech economy. We're competing with Japan. We're competing with China. We need to be at the top of our game. And as a person who grew up in an academic environment, mother was a professor, I was a college professor, education is everything. If we don't have an educated populace and an economy that can absorb them and take good care of them, give them an opportunity for hard work, we're going to lose our leadership position. I don't want to see that happen.
Okay, Andy Martin, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.